It is way too early for this. What's up, everybody? It's Jake from Pro in Winchester, Virginia, and today you're gonna watch me eat a whole bunch of food. So one of the things that's pretty popular on YouTube right now is this whole like day of eating thing, and I thought it would be interesting to open up discussions about nutrition and stuff like that by just kind of using what I eat during one of my days. Now, I tend to eat a little bit more than probably the normal person. Personally, I train for competitive strongman, and so I usually lift a decent bit of like heavy weights, and I'll post some of those videos and stuff in the video so you can see what I'm talking about. Squat right around 700 pounds, deadlift just under 7, and bench just under 5, and can overhead press just under 400 pounds. So static strength wise, I do like a lot of heavy lifting, and so my diet is pretty reflective of the types of things that I do. Given the current situation, it's adapted a little bit. Like some of the previous days this week when I wasn't really lifting or doing any strongman stuff, I ate significantly less. But I think one of the things that we'll get on later in the video is a little bit about kind of like fueling for athletic performance and fueling for the needs of your body. So hopefully you enjoy this video. It's going to probably be posted a little bit late because it's probably about 8 o'clock now, and I'm still going to have to edit everything to get it all on the YouTubes. But I hope you enjoy, guys, and thanks for watching. All right, so you guys just watched me shove a whole bunch of food in my face, and there's calorie counts on the screen, and it probably is way more food than most of you eat. What you got to keep in mind is that I do competitive strongman, or at least prior to isolation, I was training more for that. So I posted clips of me lifting throughout the video, just kind of give you guys an idea of like what I do from an athletic standpoint, and why I did probably some of the exercises outside that I was doing today. But I'd also like to use this opportunity to talk about some stuff that I think, especially coming from a male therapist or a male coach, may seem like super weird and uncomfortable. And that is like, we need to talk about energy balance and periods. Because when you're working with female athletes, and I know for me especially, I tend to work with a lot of dancers and ballerinas. It's something that I studied to work kind of in the performing arts realm. And I'm really personally kind of passionate about strength and conditioning for that population. One of the things that I oftentimes talk to dancers and performing artists that I work with is about just some basic stuff on nutrition. One of the most staggering things that we see right now, statistic-wise, is that in ballet, which tends to be probably the most aesthetically demanding of a lot of our different dance disciplines, and from a traditional aspect, the way that a lot of studios and companies may teach ballet, there may still be a lot of pressure to have people do things like crash diets and crazy caloric restriction in an effort to be leaner or to look a certain way to fit a costume or a piece. And so because of that, what we see in the ballet population is rates of athletic amenorrhea up to 50%. And initially the thought was that amenorrhea, or a loss of your menstrual cycle or your period, was thought to be purely based on body fat percentage, and that female athletes or female performing artists who got below a certain body fat percentage were probably going to lose it, their period. But what we know now is that it's probably based more on overall energy balance. And so as a female athlete, specifically as a ballerina or a dancer, if you are not getting enough calories to meet the demands of what your body is doing, there's a pretty high chance that you're going to lose your period. And I know that's weird coming from me because like I'm a dude and I clearly don't have a period, but with the population that I work with, it's something that really needs to be talked about. And I think that there is a huge stigma, especially from male therapists, about not wanting to talk about menstruation and not asking questions of their athletes or of the clients that they work with if they are menstruating regularly or even with younger athletes if they've even had their period. It's a weird subject, and I know that a lot of the dancers that I've worked with, at one point or another, we've had conversations about this, just because in some of those more traditional environments, it's something that's kind of looked on as normal. But from a hormonal standpoint, from like a physiologic standpoint, it is not normal. And we really need to be more diligent and more open about talking about things like caloric balance so that we can make sure that our female athletes and our dancers are menstruating properly. Again, I know this is like super weird and you guys all clicked on this video because you wanted to see me just shove a whole bunch of food in my face, but I'd like to use this platform to kind of talk about some of these things and tie it into things like this so that we're using it for education and discussion and whatnot. So that's me just kind of talking about periods. I know everyone's really wanted me to talk about that, so I figured I'd go for it. But hope you guys enjoyed this day of eating and me ranting about how ballerinas need to probably eat more. If you guys want more information on resources for nutritional information, healthy eating habits, and things like that, I'd be happy to point you in the direction of people and organizations that are way smarter than me and way more qualified to answer those questions. But I think we need to get the conversation rolling. To misquote a famous Elton John song. No more tiny dancers. Alright, guys. I will see you tomorrow.